Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm great, great, great.
Good evening, sir.
Let me bring up Selena madam this thing, right? Okay, okay. Okay, I'll have there are some Excel learning sites itself, which they've just shared a couple of days back. I'll just paste it in a chat box. You can note it down somewhere so that whenever you have free time and if you feel like you want to do a bit of extra practice, you can go here and try to understand how each of these tools helps us overall. Let me bring up Lena ma'am's these things. Give me a minute. Mm. Who all have done the Excel work?
Sir, मैंने किया है. Can you
Yeah,
see? I
could you
emailed you.
yes, you emailed me, right? Yes.
Yeah.
No problem. Or could you present it here? Means, do you have on your
Yeah,
in your
yeah,
lap?
sir. Yeah, sir. Laptop पे है मेरे.
Yeah.
मैं
So I'll
करती हूँ.
just stop this
Hmm.
thing. Wait a minute. Where's that? Stop share. Yes. Could you please share? Let's go
सर
ahead.
मैं शेयर नहीं कर सकती क्योंकि मैं
Oh,
मेरा ये सिस्टम में शेयर नहीं हो पा रहा है.
oh no, no problem.
ठीक
I
है.
can.
आपके पास है ना तो आप शेयर कर लो.
वो पूरा ढूंढना पड़ेगा. Even I'm trying to find Lena Ma'am's also. She also sent me a couple of days back. Hmm.
मैंने ट्राई किया सर. I tried it to download my WhatsApp to the system, but
Uh,
it's not working.
that's the issue with Apple and all those things, but that's okay. Because whatever if you go on job or something, you need to use laptop because iPhone or iPad can walk you to up to a certain extent. I know it's easy, it's really good in terms of facilities and all, but
No,
whenever
sir,
it's
it's not like that. I am used to of the laptop only, but abhi recently we got the phone and all in handy in our hands only. That's why I do it and on
ma'am,
hand.
we
But
need to
I
put
do
some
the
efforts. We need to put some
yeah,
efforts in terms of getting job and all. That's what I'm
yes,
talking about because masses they still use Windows and laptop. If you
sir.
say something like
I
this,
use
the
Microsoft Excel. I do it on
yeah, yeah.
Microsoft Excel.
I know
Yeah.
we all are using Microsoft Excel for so many years, but
Mhm.
as an workshop, as in whatever we showcase our work, we need to be really forthcoming because this is what we talk about in terms of trying to work towards our job, right? And we need to put
Mhm.
in some blood and sweat. That's what I'll say
Mhm.
overall.
Mhm.
Uh, how are you, Lena, ma'am? How's your health?
Oh, I'm much better. I still have fever, but better than 2 days
Oh,
ago.
but like it's almost 2 3 days, right?
Yeah, I have a strep throat kind of a thing. It's not
Oh,
strep throat, but a very, very bad throat.
could you present your PPTs, ma'am?
Yeah, let me try share it, okay?
Sure, sure. Please. I'll do
But
a
it's
stop
in
share.
PowerPoint. Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to add to that, please be there in tomorrow's resume building session, even for batch 2, because the way we are seeing, we are analyzing from batch 1, it taking a bit longer time. So I want to have you started earlier, start building profile, because whatever we build, like we need to put our personality, we need to put our experience there, and then leverage those experience as a domain expert. Like Lina ji have travel experience, ample of travel experience, so she could be really a
I,
crucial business analyst,
I'm
right?
trying to share it, but I can't share it. I don't know. It's not popping up.
Mm, are
So,
you getting some error or something?
no, I get the screen. I see Lina and then whiteboard, iPhone, iPad, Skype, my phone. Hold on. Where do I get my screen?
uh, okay. Okay, no problem, ma'am. We'll take it afterwards. Don't
Okay,
worry.
let me Because I will have to do it anyway, right? So I might as well get it done.
Yes, because this is also kind of learning. Whenever you try to present,
Yeah.
whenever you try to, and
That's why I want
it's
to do
all
it.
required for the job, right? So
Sir,
I am
can
not.
I, excuse me, sir, can I share, I'm trying to share my screen. Can you,
Yeah, sure, sure. I have stopped my share, ma'am. Please,
yeah, sure.
whoever can share, let's go ahead. Let's have at least one or two example, so that we can
Raviti,
discuss it
but
all, and
once
then
Palvi
we
is
can.
done, you'll have to guide me through how to share this so I can learn it for good and then
Sure, ma'am.
share my screen. Okay.
Sure, sure, no problem. Even learning to present is also one of the
Yeah,
job requirement,
exactly.
because as an analyst we talk to people, right?
Right,
We
right.
take interview, we do servo, yeah, we do brainstorming. Now everything we do
We have to,
online.
yeah,
So
right.
it's a part of the overall need for the job.
Yeah,
And if you
right.
restrain ourselves, it'll be a bit difficult afterwards, because unless you can't do it, it's going to hamper your performance. That's what I'll say,
No, right,
because I am
right.
there for everything, but you need to start talking, you need to start doing such things.
Right, right. That's
Please,
why
so
I
my
want to
humble
learn
request,
it for good. Yeah.
yes, ma'am, I can understand there could be some problem earlier,
No, you
or
can
there
show
could be
me
some
the session
challenges.
because I haven't done it any time. So this is the first time I'll be sharing.
Ma'am, you presented a couple of times, right?
No, I sent you and I sent some slides through WhatsApp. I never shared the screen. I
Okay.
could never do it even that time.
Oh, are you using laptop?
Yeah, I'm using laptop.
If you move your cursor downwards, there
Okay.
should be some pop-up or a ribbon coming up. There you can see the mute,
I
start
see
video,
share
security.
screen. I see
Uh-huh.
share screen. So I
Yeah,
click
share
on
screen.
that. Then I get 6 screens. Select the window or application that you would
Right.
like to share.
So wherever your presentation is open, you need to open the presentation first and
Oh,
then do share.
okay. Okay.
Same with you,
Then,
Pallavi ma'am. Wherever you created your images, you can share image. You can share. Okay, yes. Wow. Wow, this is good.
okay, one sec.
Now,
Guru School.
yes.
Okay, here it is. You guys see that? Okay.
Yes, yes. Guru School training tracks XLS. Then Guru School course 2020 PPTX.
So how many people see registered and how many got job? So I have
Okay,
different
great.
classes, Agile and BA and all. So this is
Yes.
the first one, Guru School. This is like a line chart.
No, okay. We
Go
can see
back.
the file explorer, man. We need to go to that application. So you need to do stop share
Okay.
and share the opened application. This happens, no problem. Even it happens with me
So
also.
what do I stop share? Okay, now I do what?
Now share, go to share again,
Okay.
uh, and share
And,
the subsequent window which you see, your file open. Your file
okay,
must
here.
have a name, right?
Okay, here. Yeah.
Yeah. See, perfect. Okay, student registration date. Wow, perfect. So you say for, okay, wow, you have different courses. You have registered student and you have jobs placement, right?
Right.
Wow, great, great. Okay, so we are basically we are trying to present this data to all dignitaries, right? Let's
Yeah,
click it.
say how successful you're trying to prove how many students were registered and how many got a job placement. That was the question. Oh, if I
Perfect.
registered to your school, how many people got a job in past? So that is
Right.
what I was trying to prove. Okay, this is our statistic.
Perfect, perfect. Yes,
Should
let's
I
go
go on
ahead.
my next chart?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Okay, this is the line chart.
Wow, great. Could we analyze the overall, progress, and this gives a clear picture of where we are heading, how the progress is. So we normally start with the student registration and we are moving to the job placement. So that's a result thing.
Yeah,
Normally, yes, 100% student who have registered couldn't complete the course and couldn't get a job, because there are some filtration going on. There are some dropouts. There are some students who want to learn more, and something like that. So we
yeah,
have lesser number, right? But yes, job placement is kind of whatever result we want to show, right? This is
right,
like out of 100 scenario.
right.
Could we understand this? And there's these statements are not written here, but I can explain them. I have to explain them to the all dignitaries, so that whatever I have depicted here has to be understood by everybody else. Normally it does, because that's the normal human psychology we are talking about. But still, if I put it in a sentence, whenever I talk, I can be more forthcoming, more clear, and I have a concise view why I'm showing it this, right? So I have to explain this thing in few sentences, and that's what the presentation is all about.
Yeah. So, but
You-
when we do a presentation, do we have to describe like
yes, ma'am.
in writing?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's what the learning is. That's what this
Okay.
hands-on thing is.
So
Could
it's
you please
not.
explain this chart in your sentence, because it's your creation, your baby, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, please
See,
go.
we offer all these 6 courses: Agile, Scrum Masters, Cloud Development, and BA, QA, Scrum, Data Science, and Python, Big Data. And we had a lot of students inquire about it. And each class, for example, like for BA and QA, to a total 28 students were registered, and out of that, 27 already got a job placement done. Same way for Agile and Scrum, 20 people were graduated and 18 people got a job. Uh, so this is how, right? So I mean,
Right.
I don't want to waste everybody's time here, but this is how the style should be, right? Then this
Perfect.
is what
Perfect.
it is.
Yes.
And so for as you see, I was trying to promote BA and QA. So as you
Right.
can see, BA and QA got the most people that got replaced.
Top line.
Almost 90% people got the job
Yes.
on
Yes.
BA and QA.
Perfect.
So this is
Perfect.
one way in the line chart. Then I did line and the column chart.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow. This is
so
really wow thing,
okay.
because you can clearly see, right? Yep.
Yeah.
In your words, ma'am. That's
Then
the
on the
great
side
thing.
also I have put registered student, number of students registered on the side.
Right.
So this is for the line, and that's for the graph, the Guru School on the column way it explains, right?
Right.
So basically, it's again same thing. I mean, this instead of two charts, Raviji, I put it in one. So column, I wanted to try different charts, so I put column and the line chart. So
Sure.
it let double explanation. We don't have to do.
Ma'am, no, this is, we are trying to present. We'll get better one by one. And as I say, right, we have one personal favorite. I like pie chart. I like that 3D pie chart, because I don't know, might be I like to eat cake too much. I like to eat ice cream too much.
No, but remember, that's why I had asked you, because when you have
Yes,
two things that you have to prove, right? That this
exactly
many
right.
students, I couldn't do it in pie chart, because either I can show how many people registered in the month of January, or I can
Right.
show how many people got a job placement. So I could not combine in pie chart.
No, that's okay, ma'am. And there could be some sequential presentation. There could be a couple of more slides. That doesn't, hurt us, because see, whenever you trying to present, you'll have a limited time. Say, let's say 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and you need to present around 10 to 15 slides. And in 10 to 15 slides, you have use case diagram that will take at least 2 slides. You have HLD that will at least take 2 slides. You have SRS, at least they have six chapters, so you'll at least take 12 slides. So if you can understand the presentation planning, and this is what we do in workshop. The last workshop, the big workshop, I believe you were there last time, right? So we need to plan the slides accordingly. Even we need to time our explanation for each and every slide,
Slide, yeah.
because that matter, right? Because anybody can come up and say, okay, Lina ma'am, I think we had enough. Ye bhi hota hai. And they just walk out, because these are as we know, these are all dignitaries mostly. बाकी लोग बैठे रहेंगे, बट CIO CTO उठ के नहीं यार ये जम नहीं रहा, मीन्स मेरे को नहीं लगता इससे पैसा निकलेगा. These are the things is most important. I'm trying to tell you in Hindi, because English can be really hard words, hash
Yeah,
words.
yeah.
So I don't want to use those words, and but we need to understand their role as well, because they are there to make money. So from business points, if the person can't see a value, then the presentation is a waste of time for them, right? So we need to build that value inside. So my explanation for this solution, right? So there's a bit of marketing and sales involved here. So we've understood the vision, we have collected the requirement. Now we are presenting the requirement to these guys so that they can start the project. And that project I'll lead as a business analyst. Business analyst, mostly, as I told you, can basically senior person to a project manager also, quite a few times, because of the domain experience, because of the requirement gathering, or because even the communication you are having with the client, the CIOs, CTOs, MDs of the world. So that's why it's a crucial, and this art of presentation is really crucial,
But you
because
know what I mean, after as in more and more I learned about it, I feel speaking, is basically depends on the organization, what chart will fit their requirement and their business needs. Because see, even this one, like Guru School student registration bar chart. Bar chart
Right.
is self-explanatory. I don't have to explain anything. You see,
Yes,
this
ma'am.
Agile and Scrum Master, total 20 students were registered, 18 got the job. 28
Right.
were registered for BA and QA, so 27. So at the
Mhm.
standpoint of the student, they can, if they have to decide the career, they said, wow, this one BA really has
So
a
where
good
should I
job
invest?
market, and I do this.
Right.
And even for school people, they know that where their strength is BA and QA, but they
Right.
still have to work on front end developer and UI. So they will market that school more. So I think bar chart, I was the best that I felt for this
Perfect.
scenario.
Perfect. I want something like this from you, something like this from everybody, because you should be comfortable, right? And that's what the whole meaning of this exercise. That's why I want you to present, because you play around, you get your hand bit dirty and try to understand to what suits to my personality, because everybody has a person. I can teach you skill, I can teach you, I can guide you through tools, but your personality should come out, because every person is an artist by himself. And let's not let's not try to fool around with the words, but every person has his own persona, every person has his own way of communication. The way Ramendra Pandey communicates, Pallavi ma'am has a different style, she has a different education, she has different experience, and that should come out. Same like Lina ma'am, she had experience, she had his own persona, and that's what it should come out. When she says, I like this bar chart, yes, so I can understand. She can be very comfortable, she can explain in depth. If I like pie chart, I have, pie chart is basically cumbersome, because you can just present one row and one label, right? Bar charts, you can have multiple, so you can have multiple slide within one thing. So every chart have its plus and minus that you need to understand. Unless you draw yourself, I can't guide you, because each and every chart, as I told you, depends on your personality. And if I like, I'll study more, right? And that's how it happens in the real life. If I like motor driving, if I like car driving, I'll learn more. I'll try to create my driven by my own interest, right? Driven by my own mind. That's what you call subconscious mind and all those things. Means I don't want to go there, but these are the real thing in life. So please do these things. Try yourself. Unless you try, you don't know.
Yeah,
Even
but
same
other
thing.
than personality, also, Raviji, I think it
Uh,
depends on that project that you land up in. Because if it is some healthcare thing, then other chart might be more suitable and most. You can depict more through the chart in depending on the scenario, right? And what
and
project you are
that's a
working
kind
on.
of special case or exceptional scenario. That's what I'll say. But normally, organization even don't limit yourself to a chart type, because they
No,
give
no,
you
not their
free hand.
need. I mean their need, not the organization, but their need and what kind of project it
Yes,
is.
yes, and you're right in that scenario, and you know, because you have tried this. But if you ask the same thing whoever never tried, they don't know, right? It's, which is good, which is bad, and then they're stuck with other choice. So whatever her or his RO says, reporting officer, you normally get to that, and then the performance hampered because somebody else chosen for you. Could you understand what I'm trying to say here?
Yes, yes, yes.
So unless and until you try, I can walk up to a level, right? I can't make choices on behalf of you. You need
Right.
to come out. You need to build your own personality. You need to be that BA. I can help you out. If you say, Ravindra sir, please, tell me this pie chart again, I'll tell you again. If you tell me why this pie chart have a limitation of one row, one column, yes, it's there. So I need to have the other one. Okay, the other one. So we have a chart which can have 2-3 columns attached together. It looks complicated, but if you could explain it, if your personality, can explain it really well, then why not? It's really good thing to do. Pie chart is what they call elementary chart. This donut chart is also complex chart, because you can have multiple columns, multiple data points to be explained here. It looks good to some. This is what they transfer into the area chart as well. Area chart is basically a very difficult graph like thing, which are for techies, frankly speaking, but some person like those and they can explain it well, because everybody has their way of. And this is what we are doing, right? As I told you, we are trying to capture the vision, so thought process of a very senior person, converted it to requirement, and then converted it to functionality. That's what the overall business analysts do. We are the communicators between a business people and a technical people. So, and these are the few tools which we use. So we need to learn these 4 or 5 tools. They are just 4 or 5 tools. It's not complicated thing, but we need to get our hands dirty. We need to learn this thing, and unless we do, uh, only God can help you. Then that's what I want to say.
Yeah,
Pardon me for saying this, but this is what I come to. Okay, so yes, that's really good. Leena ma'am, please go ahead. You can explain donut
no,
chart.
no, this one, the donut chart, I personally don't like it because it is, the BA has to work more to explain what it is.
Right.
Because I'm not an expert to making chart. Whatever I learned, it will take a long time for me to explain what it is. The registered students, uh, I couldn't show who are the registered students, which number 8, let's say for example, on the data science Python, 8 and 12. So I have to now explain them that totally 12 students registered and 8 of them got a job placement. So it's like analyst has to spend more time
More
explaining
time.
this chart because they
Right.
don't know what it is. They're lost, except these colorful rings. They don't know anything.
Let me tell you, ma'am. There was a Vipul Joshi from Surat, one
Uh-huh.
of the best, sales manager I have worked with closely. He likes these donut charts, and the way he starts. See, let's look at the span of the students. Let's look at the outer link 27 and the inner link 28. 28 might look smaller to you, but that's how the progression is. That's where the money is. So we need to
Uh-huh.
consider on that. Don't look at that small patches of 2 and 4. Don't get fooled by that 5 and 5. This is how he explains, because he's a salesperson. He know the progression thing. You're putting the inward progression, so you can put the outward progression also in this. But yes, he like this thing, and he explained this thing. He can explain on these 2 rings at least for an hour,
Oh, wow.
because no, I'm just trying to share the experience with you. There are some personality, and this again depends on how you like it, how you can pour your personality, how you can pour your knowledge, because knowledge sharing is that's what we are trying to do through these images, right? These are the images at the end of the day. So this is how every chart has its own what you can say plus and minuses. I'll not say even if you look at it from a layman's perspective, this is really cumbersome.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
patla patla
It
ring
is
hai,
more
हाँ.
effort on my side to explain
Exactly.
you. So,
Exactly. Same with me. Means
so
I'm
I mean, as a business analyst, I rather pick this chart, which is self-explanatory. So I
exactly.
have to, it's like cherry on top. I have the
Ex-
clear chart and then I exaggerate more and explain them. No, wow, look at this career BA and QA and this and that. So that will have
Clearly,
more
yeah.
impact. So chart and my personal, like
Way
effort.
of explanation.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
great. This is what we are here to learn, ma'am. This small sentence I can't explain you in training, and unless you do it, I couldn't really guide you.
I want
Ki
to
Leena ma'am, I
ask
say
others, if they agree with me. See this bar chart, do I have to do any more explanation? If you see, look at it, anybody would understand, right, girls? Participants, Pallavi and everybody.
please come out. Please discuss.
Yes,
This is
yes, Lina ma'am. Yes, I think
Yes, Leena ma'am, sure. Exactly.
Right.
so,
So,
so
donut chart, everybody was lost. And even I was
Yes.
like struggling. Okay, how do I explain?
right.
But
I
this,
can understand. So please, everybody, at least try a couple of things. And this is really a need of the hour, because we, as an analyst, you need to work, right? I'm there to help you out. Even on job, you can call me and I can help you out to prepare this chart. But you need to explain them, because with CEO, CTO, I can't be there in the room, right? You need to put in your words. You need to explain to them why I've choose Philips iris scanner, why I choose Sony iris scanner, or why I have taken this decision. This is your conveying your decision to them, because here what Leena Ma is saying, she can clearly depict BAQ Scrum is the best courses, because we got 88 enrollment and we have 27 placement. So paisa isme zyada hai,
so
isme
both
apan paisa
the
dalenge.
perspective, as a guru school perspective also, now
Exactly.
Dave knows that he has to push front end more or cloud developer more or big data classes more, get more students.
Right.
And also from the student perspective, the new student, they said, which career is good for me? He said, oh, this career, wow, this many people got a job, almost 99%
Exactly.
result. So this is good from both the perspective.
Exactly. and you can go on explaining this thing for half an hour, believe me.
Yeah, I
And
think we can.
this is the
Yeah.
current scenario, means we haven't done with the overall training course as well. So see, if you work out by yourself, from your heart, right, why and what scenarios. So if you know these things, you can go on explaining, and if anybody has a question, then also you can answer, because you have done this thing by yourself. I can show you and there are a number of charts and pies, and there are as I told you, like add-ons and all those things. But if you choose one of these few, then you can explain. We can find, believe me, we can find another type of charts within our team, believe me, and they can explain it much better than bar or donut or pie or whatever it may be. So it happens, and this is what I call you as a business analyst. Be yourself. Try to use whatever experience you got. Even if you got experience in cooking, in primary teaching, yes, it will help you, believe me, it will help you in a long way, because there are certain traits whenever you're trying to teach these primary kid or smaller kids. You need to be really patient. You need to understand in depth about their current scenario, current background. Are you with me? Means am I explaining it correctly? I've never worked as a primary teacher, but there are certain traits which make us to do those things. I might like that patience. I like really try to understand each and every small kid, each and every and their mood swings. They are very very mood swings are very at top fluctuations and all, right. I couldn't really use the words also. Means how can I explain? Means there are some traits for each and everything whatever you do, and we are all really brilliant evolved personalities here. So, I can't relate you, me, or anybody for that matter. So everybody has their own individual personality, which should come out clearly. Anybody have any question, or can I start presenting Pallavi ma'ams, because she shared with me? Anybody have any question? Please, do talk. Let's try to, what I can say. Let's try to. Wait a minute. Okay. Wow, Pallavi ma'am, wow, really means I can clearly see. Great job, ma'am. Let me download and share with everybody else. Why is not coming?
सर ये अभी बनाया मैंने बैठ
I know. Oh man, wow, that's really brilliant. I don't know. Oh, अच्छा, ठीक है. एक मिनट. ये थोड़ा.
सर मैंने I didn't label it.
I know, नहीं आप see you can explain by yourself, right? ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि सब कुछ आपको करना है, अपन सब मिलके करेंगे, but थोड़ा effort अगर आप चालू करेंगे तो बाकी मैं आपको बता सकता हूँ. Please don't worry. Let me, and I'll share this thing with you so that you can start explaining, and then I'll add other slides as well. And as you see, this online thing also takes a time. ये अभी फटाफट नहीं होता है. To bring this thing slide up, it took a couple of minutes, right? So we need to be prepared also. So could you see the Excel sheet, Pallavi ma'ams? Read only,
Yes,
you
sir.
can't save changes scene. Okay, Pallavi
Yes,
ma'am,
sir.
you can start, and I'll add other slides also. No, but I couldn't. Okay, I'll download the other things and then I'll start those. Please start
Yes,
explaining.
sir. Yes, there's students in the class, sir. आपका वाला यूज करूं मैं कि अपना सिस्टम में से करूं मैं?
नहीं, जो दिख रहा है वो आप बोल सकते हैं ना मैम. Could you see
नहीं
those?
सर, नहीं कभी-कभी स्विच हो रहा है सर, मतलब दिख नहीं रहा है स्क्रीन में कुछ भी.
Oh, I'm really sorry. ये नेटवर्क है. आप आपका एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए.
हाँ.
चलिए.
नहीं सर, तो फिर सबको देख के समझ में आना चाहिए ना. आप
हाँ, ये बात
show
कहानी
करोगे
है. That's true. अरे ये डाउनलोड क्यों नहीं है? एक मिनट. अच्छा, एक मिनट मेरे को दे दीजिए, मैं ये डाल देता हूँ.
हाँ सर, टेक योर टाइम प्लीज.
Yes, sir. And these are simple thing, right? I believe you took screenshots. ये भी
Yes,
आप कर
sir.
सकते हैं, या आपने फोटो लिए शायद.
फोटो लिया सर, फोन से
Right,
फोटो
right,
लिया
right.
सिस्टम का.
Right. I
कुछ
can
तो
understand.
करना पड़ेगा ना शो करने के लिए.
नहीं, और कैसा है ना कि ये अपने को ही करना है ना.
वही सही
So
बात है.
ये ठीक है, थोड़ा क्रूड वे है, बट क्या बोलते हैं, अगर आप ये कर मीन्स at least you started somewhere. That's what I'll say, and that's the best thing we can do right now. So let's do it, because
It's a temporary thing, sir. We cannot
Yes,
share that the presentation time. We can't show this one.
नहीं चलेगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. और सी अपने को एक्सप्लेन करना है. So if you can explain in any way, that's more than enough, and that's how the overall come on. अरे ये सब ऊपर नीचे हो रहा है, ये मिनट, क्योंकि मेरे यहाँ क्या है ना 3-4 स्क्रीन चल रही है
हाँ।
तो ये ऊपर नीचे होता है, बीच में शिफ्ट होता है वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह, और मेरे को वो विंडो के बीच में लाना है। ओके, आई थिंक 3 है और 4 है, राइट? 3 हो गए हैं। लेट मी ट्राई अनदर, द लास्ट वन, ऐड द लास्ट वन। वाओ, wow, this looks good.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
So there's a student in one class. The name of the student is there, and there is a 4 subject of the students, numbers and totals. We add the first one, sir. We make the formula for the totals, and then slide down with all the totals for all the students.
Right, please go ahead.
Then I make that pie chart.
Right, I'll go to the next slide. Yes.
Yes, in this, the English shows all the colors of the students, like Bob, Sally, Sue, Jill, and all the students are there. And then according to the number, the color it with that. Color is different for all the students. And after that, the line chart.
Yes.
Sir, line chart.
Yes.
Yes, there's a line chart for all the student. The graph goes up and down according to that student numbers, and all the student grades and numbers are defined in different colors. So then they
here,
can, yes, sir. You can
so
correct.
here we are trying to compare marks in different subject and try to understand which is the top earner, which is the bottom earner, what are the areas we should be supported, what are the areas need more help from teacher side, who are the teachers who needs to put in some more efforts, or where student needs an extra helping hand. So those kind of so whatever the lines at the bottom, we need to support them so that they can also start becoming the top performers, so something like that. So we are trying to analyze marks, we are trying to analyze the student for performance, and then we can basically help them effectively after studying or analyzing these things. Right? Is everybody with me?
Yes.
Any confusion here?
No, thanks.
Okay, yeah, next slide.
Then it's
Yes.
column chart is there.
Right.
Column
and here
chart.
we can clearly see Meg is a student who is outperforming everybody else, right? I believe Meg is a lady, right?
Maybe, yes.
Okay, so she has outperformed everybody else, and John needs more help because he's kind of trailing everybody else. So we can really learn from Meg how she did the study. So I'll have her explain to all students how and why she got the maximum marks, and I'll also have John to discuss his challenges, so that why he's trailing. What are the things we need to make it better? How can I help John so that he'll be also with everybody else? Because learning is a team effort. Unless and until you do that, it will be difficult to understand, or difficult to make everybody or transfer the knowledge across the batch. Right? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And we need to explain it in that way, because this graph tells us these things. These statements are not written anywhere. I'm just trying to share the pictorial thing with everybody else. Okay, anybody have any questions or difficulties, or anybody want to say in their words how this chart, or how this graph looks to you? Okay, I'll go to the next one. This is really beautiful.
Yeah.
Means I'll
That,
like this, 3D bar chart, right, ma'am?
yes, sir. Bar chart.
Yes. Yeah. Could you explain in your words what these depicts?
1 minute, sir.
Sure, sure.
Yes,
No problem.
it's
Take your
a
time.
3D bar chart is there. There's a first cutout, last cutout is 350, and there is no student come up with that, and 300 is the last, 345 I think is the last one. The student meg is the on the maximum, and next is the Bob, who is the Bob, no, sir, Jill. Jill is the next one. First, second, third, we can calculate according to this chart. Who is the first and who is the second and who is the third in the class. And in this, we can check the all the students' numbers, and the color is shown for all the subjects and all.
Perfect. Yes. Anybody have any question? Now Madhur ma'am wants to present. Madhur ma'am, are you ready? I've stopped share. Could you please go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I will try to screen
Sir,
share.
once Madhuru ma'am done, then I can present my. I
Yes, sure,
have
sure.
it.
Please.
Okay.
And as I told you, this is a need of the hour, and this is how we learn, right? Please.
Okay. So this is mine.
Yes, madam. Oh,
So
wow.
I did it only on one page, but next time I will do it different
No,
page.
that's okay. And we can clearly see. I have seen the Rudra's presentation, and I can see the colors, combinations coming from you. Wow. Rudra also have that knack of choosing the great colors. These are really bright colors, and it really what you can say force you to say wow. Believe me. Please go ahead, ma'am.
So
What you can do, you can zoom on one chart. If you press your control down and if you move the mouse wheel towards laptop, it'll zoom. Or you can go down here and try to click on plus, so it'll do a plus for one table. So you can start with this expenses, medical expenses table, and then we can go to the chart. Oh, perfect. See, you can do it now. Just zoom and move around. Zoom first. Yes. One more. Yes. Now get that table in front of your screen. That, because table is my data, right? From there I'll start explaining this thing. Yeah. Hold that sheet. Yes, yes. And move it towards your left.
I'm this
Okay,
is
please go ahead.
3D
Perfect.
3D chart.
Uh-huh.
So this is medical expenses by age. How
Right.
how you uh, how you
How you
how much
spend
you
according to the
spend,
ages. Perfect,
yeah,
ma'am. Please go ahead.
money. So this is 3D chart.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I want to add more, but I couldn't come. Nothing. I
You want to learn on 3D bar chart more? Is that what you're trying to say?
no. I want to add more columns uh,
Uh-huh.
to this, but um, no
Okay, what
ideas.
I'll do, yes, I'll share a specific video for 3D bar chart with you.
Sure.
Even I think Pallavi madam excelled in 3D bar chart, and try to play around whatever you like, right? Try to do it couple of times. That's why I said my home expenses is the right thing, because the data I know, it's near and dear to my heart. Whatever I spent in my last month, so don't show it to me. I can understand. There could be some scenario where you don't want to share it with your husband also. So I can understand that. So just try to play around with whatever data and try to come up with a charting, and then you'll try to understand which label does fit me. How can I explain in depth, or rather than explaining, how can I understand my expenses? That's the best thing which I can tell you, because the data which you know by heart, and if you try to plot it, you'll get to know many other things in the background, believe me. And that's how it happens. It's like you're analyzing a picture of your favorite hero, or actor or actresses, and from there you learn many things. Oh wow, really great eyes, really great cheeks, and all those things. So each and every feature does come to you as an independent talking topic. And that's what we need to do as an artist. We paint the vision, we paint the thoughts, right? And this is how we explain. Wow, please go ahead.
This is line chart.
Yes,
So here I couldn't type the age, so that 1, 2, 3 numbers were coming.
right. You can
But
click on the line and then the other mouse button. No, no, yeah, you can do it right now, or you can go to YouTube and search for line graph tutorials, and
okay,
they'll give you all these details.
I will
how they click
modify
करना है.
it again.
Right. Come again, ma'am. Sorry.
I will modified it again.
Afterwards, yes, yes. And believe me, please try to understand whatever you like in this whole group of charts and charts and graphs, so that you as in personality can explain in depth rather than what Ravindra Pandey or what Lina ma'am or what Pallavi ma'am does, because as I told you, everybody has their favorites,
Yes.
right? So these things does matter to me. So that's the way we want to learn which chart or graph does suits me better, and then I can explain it. Okay, so that, and you can please share your likings with me so that I can give you specific videos to excel in that.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
And here I could fit the names here.
Wow. Uh-huh.
So that's this is column chart, right?
Right, right.
Um, but in 3D chart I couldn't fit it, but I could fit the names here.
That's okay. That's okay, ma'am. This also really looking good. Means can explain all, right? Means
Yeah.
that picture tells you everything. Like we have name, we have age, we have even the expenses also. It is really good. Anybody else have any question?
Madhuriji, very good job.
Thank you,
Excellent.
Yes.
Lina madam.
Excellent.
And I really like the bright color combinations and
It's
those things.
self-explanatory. Very nice.
Yeah. Lina ma'am, were you there when Rudra presented his presentations?
No, I wasn't there. No.
Okay, he also have the same knack of really using bright colors, and it really catch your eye. So you stop doing everything else and start looking at the screen.
Right.
It's really great. This is what the artists are all about, right? You catch the attention, and if you can do this thing, it's really a plus point. Believe me, means when you got everybody's attention, then you can explain at length. Means everybody will listen to you. This is a really good knack of even mentor or teacher.
And
So
this
if you
is
have
also
something
like,
like this,
there is no room for the audience to ask question because
exactly.
it's self-explanatory. Then BA can go on talking without interruption because this is self-explanatory.
Yeah,
Very
this is
nice.
really good. It's a really great work, ma'am. Great work. Anybody else want to present?
Deepika wanted to present.
Yes, I want to, Sir Prejan, if you can
Please go ahead, ma'am.
let me share the screen.
Madhuri ma'am, could you please say
Yes,
stop share?
yes.
Yes. It's great work, Madhuri ma'am. Really great work.
Thank you.
Deepika ma'am, I believe you need to open a window and then share that. No problem. But I believe. अच्छा आपने पूरा स्क्रीन ही शेयर कर दिया, but ठीक है, no problem. Wow. Great. Yes. Could you zoom in a bit? Everybody can read? Yes, perfect.
Yes.
Another thing, if you click on this thing, you see this arrow. Could you see my mouse, ma'am? You can see my mouse. Okay. This is what you call ribbon on the top, where the file, home, insert, draw is, right? So that home patch, that number of buttons and images. If you go on the extreme right hand side, there's a up pointing. It's not an arrow; it's a bracket, a pointing arrow. If you click on that bracket, that ribbon will fold out. Go to your extreme left. No, sorry, extreme right. Sorry, pardon me. Extreme right,
Okay.
yeah. Just took a bit up, mouse, hardly a centimeter up.
Okay, I see.
थोड़ा ऊपर कीजिए. नो अरे नहीं, अच्छा वो हाँ एकदम बराबर है. अभी माउस ना थोड़ा राइट में लेके जाइए और थोड़ा ऊपर लेके जाइए. नहीं नॉट द बटन, माउस इटसेल्फ. अभी नीचे, थोड़ा नीचे आइए, नीचे बंद नहीं करना आपने को. थोड़ा नीचे आपके नीचे वो एक उल्टा वी दिख रहा है, बड़ा वाला.
Brown. Uh,
This
this one you're talking?
no, ma'am. Okay,
No.
go to the right,
One on
right.
the right side, right?
Yes, yes. No, go to the right again. Right, extreme right.
Ah,
Yeah, click there.
okay.
Could you see the screen zoomed out?
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
yes.
Okay. Please go ahead. Please explain us what you did.
So I have a chart for COVID cases 20 year of 2020.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So my chart is like from January to December for 4 different countries. I put it USA, India, UK, and China.
Wow. Uh-huh.
I put it for 12 different months. So each month they have a different cases for each country.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it for the China is the one has the most when the COVID-19 start, right?
Right. They have started
13,000
the
cases.
even I believe they have started the COVID. Sorry.
And
I'm
then
with Trump on that.
India is like USA is like 11,000 cases. India has
Right.
8,500 cases, and UK is like 7,000.
Right.
So I put it like number is like randomly, then it's going by to December, its number is going down. If you see it in like China, UK, India, USA, all 4 countries.
Right. Perfectly. So we are trying to understand all these numbers together, and we can explain it in one pictorial thing. Right. This is, I think, bar chart. Right.
Yes, this is a bar chart. I make 4 different charts, so I have to see, share one by one, I think.
No problem. Perfect.
Let me open the other 2.
Yeah. You can include everything in one, ma'am. Means you can have, wow, this looks
I
really,
know I didn't do
I
it.
like this chart. Means I can go on and on and on.
Yes, this is my pie chart.
Right.
And it's this one is like explain like percentage wise how many cases in each month.
Right.
Like
And
January, February, March. January is there like 4%, February 4%, March is increasing the number 7%. And by December, it's then again going back down the
right.
cases.
This is like, which part of the cake you want to eat. So maximum is my 12%, right? So I like to eat that part of cake or that part of pizza, because I like pizza. But these are the COVID cases, so I like the least one. So least one is like 4%, and I can see that just looking at the image, right? I don't have to go to table. So 4% is February, Jan. So my favorite is February and Jan, where the things actually started picking up. So this is how the pie and chart spread overall in terms of percentage, in terms of progressive months for COVID cases, and these are basically region wise. These are country wise things. So this is specifically for US. So you can have another chart for selecting months and India. So we can have another pie chart, and that's what the beauty of pie. You have to just talk about single layer cake. You don't have to really complicate the matter, complicate the life. That's how we present it, and this really helps out. But yeah, you need to have more slide. Yes, that's true. So this is not
Okay.
really concise. Please go ahead, ma'am. Great,
Okay.
great job, great colors.
I have a third one is and then pivot chart also. I have one more after that.
Wow, this is also good.
This is also like, I don't know how I can explain, but one more
Here,
chart.
this is again for the US, right?
Yes, this is also
May
for
was the max. Yeah, May was the max, and then it's story. Got reduction, right? And what that line is basically, it's total, right?
yes,
The total
going.
cases, right?
Or maybe the
Wow.
progression.
Yes.
And one more last one is pivot chart.
Wow.
This is just the sum of the USA, India, UK, and China.
Yes, China is a troublemaker. Believe me, we can clearly see that.
You're right. Oh, everybody's suffering, poor people.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just,
And
I don't
still,
want to make it, but I feel like, I don't know what comes.
No, these things come out when you try to do this pictorial representation. This is what the fun is, right? So you can really learn by yourself with analyzing this number, and this is what the analysis is all about, right? We try to learn from the numbers, we try to learn from the research, and try to share it with everybody else. That's what you can say auditory proof, or that's how you can be proved. That's what I'll say. It's really great work, ma'am. So what do you think, which is your favorite? What do you
The
like the most?
pie chart and the first one.
Okay, great. No problem. Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Anybody else want to present?
Good job, Deepika.
Yes, it's a really great job, ma'am. It's a really
Thank
great.
you. Thank you.
See, we
Good
need
job,
to learn, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody else to present?
Yes, sir, I can present.
Yeah, could you please?
Yeah. I was just making these charts right now.
Oh man,
I'm sorry.
but no problem. It happens. Don't worry. Doing is the most important thing we have to do. That's all. The
Very
rest of the things is just see, okay, another thing I just want to share with you, nothing wrong or right here. When you say the complete, when you share the complete computer, the others can see the things which have kept you open and all those things. So, don't share all the windows.
okay.
It's not good. It means practically not good. Theoretically, everything, works for us. Because then what happens, we can see the computer, we can see the other things also. So, selecting a particular application, and believe me, these guys, Google, even Zoom, they took extra effort in basically selecting a single application rather than the computer. Because if in good old days we used to have something like Teamweaver, Clear Case, where you used to share the complete computer, so you to share the control also. But whenever you select a particular application, that's what the need is, and we need to do it that way. So this is again a learning. Again, there's no right or wrong, but this is how we learn. Okay, so next time you have to just share your the only application, so the others couldn't see other things, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
One more thing, could you please close the format shape thing,
Okay.
so that your screen be, yes. Oh wow. Ari, you're the computer guy, so you know these things. Please
Yes.
go ahead.
Sir, actually, I was, I just, took it on when Leena ma'am started.
Sure.
So I just took her case only. I just didn't had time to think of my own case. So
No
I
problem.
just took it. And
Get
when I was creating a pie chart, I was just not sure it is not taking all the three columns. I think it can only take the two. See, I have created a pie chart using these three columns, and
uh
it is not showing, the data is not very clear. The picture is not,
No, ma'am. Pie chart is for first two only.
yeah,
One
only for
variable,
two.
one number, and that's how it is. See, every tool has its own limitation and advantages, right?
Okay, pie chart is only for two
Two
rows,
numbers.
two
That's right.
columns.
Yes, two. That's all.
Okay, not for three.
No, not for three.
Okay.
If you go
So,
to another chart type, you might have three or four.
yes. Then I have used this
Exactly.
bar graphs. In the bar
Right.
graph, I just took that case study, and
Right.
then yeah, so that we can if we can analyze the placement, that for BA, for agile, we can also have the trend analysis, like
Right.
right now which course are having more, more students
Mhm.
are enrolling for which courses,
Right.
and what is the placement and all. So
Sure.
that's how we do with the bar graphs.
Perfect. Perfect.
And then we have this placement chart in the line graph format. It is,
Right.
so here also we can clearly see that number of orange will be the color of a number of students who are placed, and blue is the total number of students who are registered for a particular program.
Right.
So here also I can have the trend analysis, that in which program more students are enrolling, and in which program I'm getting the more placements.
Perfect.
So, and then we have this line graph.
Wow.
So it is also helping us to analyze the data in a proper way. For BA, I can clearly see that approximately 40 students have enrolled, and out of it 38 are placed. Then agile, selenium, these are the different streams. So I can clearly see that where I'm having more enrollments and where I'm having the placements.
Right,
Uh,
right.
so in this
Okay.
way, I can analyze the data, and it is most of the data is self-explanatory. If I present this
Right.
data, I don't need to use many words for. Uh,
Perfect. Perfect.
and
So
pie chart,
what do
as
you
you
think, which is,
said,
sorry, good, please.
I what I think is, I like this bar graph for this particular scenario.
Great. Perfect. No problem.
And the pie
Yeah.
chart is
So
only for
the
two columns, right? So I cannot use the pie chart in this case.
sure, definitely.
You can
So you
use
know
it
the
but
limitation of
filter
a
it.
chart. But
Yeah, you can use it but filter it, right? Two different charts side by side. One is number of students registered and the
exactly, yeah.
other one with number of students placed. So
So how do I do it?
then you have to make another one.
I have selected this column and then
And
this
you have to
column.
use, yeah, use the filter,
No, no,
follow
no.
the
Okay.
filter.
Okay. Select the C column. No, select the C column. First,
Okay.
select the C column. No, the column, the complete column. Click on C. Yeah. Right click with the mouse.
Yeah.
Say hide.
Oh, okay. I'll hide it and then select these two. Okay.
Now select these two columns.
And
Right click.
insert the chart.
Insert chart. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
And then if I create a pie chart.
Yes.
And put side by side. Yeah,
Okay, this is
perfect.
But yes, there's a problem with pie chart. You need to have so many charts. That's true.
right, right. Okay. Yeah. And for
The number
unhide,
are more linear, so it looks almost similar way, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, no.
So
Okay, you use the same.
how to unhide that column?
Okay. Yeah. Click there. Yeah, say unhide. No, 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 no. Click. Select B and C both. Okay. You can do
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Like
Perfect.
she did it.
Uh, it's coming to the same column, I believe. Okay. Right click on that. Uh, right click on the chart. We have to select some another data. Yeah. How do you select another data here? Chart type, save as a template, select data. Yes, select data. Uh, Switch columns. Okay. Okay. Rather than click on the edit thing in the legend entries. Yeah, edit. Okay. Sheet one is number of student, and there is a number of. If you click on the bottom one, the arrow. Yeah. No. No. Yes. Yes, there you need to select another column. Yes, now you need to select. No, take your mouse to D2. Select from D2 to D6. D2. Click on D2. No D2, ma'am. Yeah, and press Shift. Yes, perfect. Yes, click on it. Yes, that's all. Okay, say okay. Okay. Same thing. Why it shouldn't be like that?
Wouldn't be it is easy
Is
to
it
go to
change or
the
is the same
filter?
thing?
No, go to the filter and then just select number of students placed. See,
Okay.
change.
Yes. Wow. Great. Perfect.
Okay. Okay.
See, wow, you played around, Leela ma'am. It's really great.
Hmm.
Sorry.
But
Just
you know
press
what
home.
worries me is
Home from
these
the
are
key.
very.
Yes, go ahead, ma'am. Sorry.
It is my data.
No, what I was saying was this worries me. Worries me in the sense, not worried in the actual sense, but these are very small data. 5, 10, 15 columns and 15 rows. But in the real life, you'll have thousands of lines and rows.
Exactly.
That's what worries me. That we'll have to do so much of practice every day.
Yes, yes, and believe me, we will do that. Means, don't worry. Means we don't have to do everything, right away. But yes, this is the first step. So we have
I
started
did.
learning.
I did one
Right.
with 3, 4 different cases, like 5 different thing in row, 5 different in the column, and
Right.
that one was okay. If you have few minutes, I can show you that.
Yeah, please. Means, do you
So
have to
let
add
us
anything,
finish.
ma'am?
Let me
Uh,
finish.
Yeah, I was just checking, are there these are the all charts we can do, right? The pie charts, bar graphs, and line
No, no,
charts.
if you look on the top, you are almost, I think, 7 or 8 different chart types. We can choose from anything, and it's basically your personal whatever you like. Okay, now pivot is basically you're trying to summarize the bigger data. To answer the Lina ma'am's questions, what we normally do, we create these pivot charts, try to summarize the complete huge data into a, something like this, might be say 10 row 11 column, and then you can have this chart presented. That's how we do. So this is how we use Excel in a step by step way. But plotting this chart and all these things is the most crucial part, because this is what we're going to present it to the users, and this is how we're going to put our overall inferences on the table, ki why and why not and how, those kind of scenario. Okay, Lina ma'am, does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Sure. So
Yeah.
pivot chart, that's what pivot chart is. Pivot tables or chart, whatever you want to call it, is the supporting tool this charting. Okay, so I know it's a bit cumbersome, bit difficult to understand, because then you have to really understand the formulas and everything. But if you understand this, and whenever you felt a need, you can utilize pivot chart as well. It's not that difficult, believe me. Means if you practice couple of times, you can do wonders, and that's how we do in real life. Means we will get there. If not today, might be on the job. I'll explain to you. See, whenever you have a data which you can relate to, which you can basically think it through, then you can use this pivot chart effectively. Right now we don't have any problem or any solution as which we can relate this data to. So that's why I have suggested try no, map is different thing, map means we don't use maps is basically singular execution or singular progression you depict to.
Oh, okay. I just thought.
We are normally, repeated to charts. I believe you're using the latest version of MS Office. That's why, I find it a bit confusing.
Okay, okay.
And, so let's stick to chart right now. Maps and pivot, even pivot table, pivot charts. I'll not stress on those things. It's good to learn. And, it can elevate our thought process or presentation. But at the end of the day, we need to choose whatever we like or my personality suits to. So those things. Now, okay, line chart, yes, you can have all the columns, right? Now you can see the complete trend here.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Perfectly. So you need to have your favorite. You need to understand how it's working for you. You need to play around with it. So what I'll do, as I told you, I'll share some video on these, particular charting. So line chart, pie chart, bar chart, 3D bar chart. So we can, play around. And I'll request you to play around. And if you can see a really, astonishing result, we can share it with the group. And then we know how we can explain it in depth. And that's the kind of practice we need to keep. Okay, and please stop me whenever you have ready with such results. So rather than me interrupting you, if you're coming, coming to present yourself, that's the best thing we can do as an analyst. Because as an analyst, we are there to present ourselves rather than listening to others. So that's also kind of trait what I want you to have. Okay, I know I'm a talkative person, I'm a bit pushy sometimes, but overall, that's how we're going to work together. And there are some pushy people in the team as well, so we need to cope up with them as well. So please don't take it anything negatively. This is how we need to present, this is how we need to be there on job, right? Because unless and until you are forthcoming, unless until you are pushy at certain times, you need to get your work done also, right? You need to get your salary from the company. So you need to have certain really ceased in getting things in your hand also sometimes. So that's what I want to share with you. Okay, so these are kind of personal traits, and you need to leverage them as much as you can on the job, for the job also. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yeah.
Great, great. So anybody else want to present?
I was just want to show you something which has more,
Yeah, yeah, please start.
like a little wider. I'll share my
Yes, please,
screen.
ma'am.
Okay. See, this is the travel expense report for the executives for the month of January
We
It's
can't
still
see.
2020.
not come, ma'am.
We
It's
can't
not.
see.
You can't see?
No, it's not. It's no. You have to share, I believe, right?
I think I did. Hold on. Share. Can you see now?
Yes.
Yeah. See, this
We can
is
see the file explorer, ma'am. You
oh,
need to double click that. Travel expense report executive for yes. You have to again open that thing, or you need to share that application where you open this travel expense report. I can see the file name from here.
okay. Can you see this one now?
No, ma'am.
No.
You need to close this file manager or file explorer and share that application where you're trying to showcase us this presentation.
So I put new.
Okay, just stop share and share again the presentation.
Okay. Let me first open the presentation and then share it.
Yes, ma'am. That's right, ma'am.
Okay. Share screen. You can see now, right?
No, we can see the file explorer again. We couldn't see the presentation.
I don't know. You see that now?
No, ma'am. Okay, let's do one thing. Stop share.
File Explorer.
Yeah. Now, open that file, whatever you were trying to showcase.
Okay.
Could you see that file opened on your screen?
I see in my screen. Yeah.
Okay. Now go to the this pop-up or the ribbon, whatever the Zoom ribbon is,
Okay.
and click on
Share
share.
screen.
And when you get that 6 or 7 list of application, select the file. You know the file name, right? What you're trying to present. Click on that and say share.
You can see now.
Yes. Line charts.
Yeah. So
Right?
what? Yeah. So what I did is there are like 6 executives, 6 different expenses that they have. Okay.
Mhm.
Let me see if I can put the whole thing. See, they have airfare, meal, car rental, and hotel. So now this
Right.
is what is like there are 3-4 different options for one. Say Brandon Lee, he spent maximum of travel expense on the airfare and then on a hotel, whereas John Doe spend only like on a meal and this one. So that way we have an idea of which executive is spending more money and what area they are spending more money for the expenses of the executives. But this is like third or fourth, 3-4 different options that I put, they have 3 different airfares and meals and rentals and hotel and 5-6 different representative.
Right. But it tells you all, right? Who is the economical for organization,
Yeah.
who is really needs something like, travel, frequent flyer program.
Exactly.
Means you
And
can
then
draw quite a few inferences from just one slide,
right.
right?
Right.
And even if I have something like train December
Okay, how
2020.
much money we spent on the hotels? Okay, this is
Right.
the money we spent. Okay, so now what is the money we spent on rental, car rentals? This is the money we spent on metro. So now we have a lot of car expenses. Now let them take the car rental and go. Kind of decision a company can make. They can balance their expense out
Right.
looking at this chart.
Right. And to some of them, or almost all of them except John, we need to really worry about the airfare or
Yeah.
the way they're spending on airfare. So that's your top kitty.
Yeah, right.
So
Exactly.
that has to be kind of major problem which we need to address, because it's in a multiple of the smaller ones.
Yeah.
So as a generic speaking, I'm not trying to solve any problem here.
No, I know
I'm
this
just
is what it is. So this is giving an idea to the company that they were trying to, budget their this one out. So now stop airfare. Now we can deal with Zoom and then less travel expense and kind of those decisions they can make on based on this. This just came on top of my head to add some options. So
right. And we can understand this just by looking at it. And I'm seeing this chart for the first time, and I can clearly try to portray my thoughts as an analyst. I can start talking on this. So if you know the numbers, then you can go in on and on for hours together. That's what the chart represent. That's how the depiction of image given to an analyst, and he or she can go on presenting these things in depth. Could you
now,
understand me?
yes, definitely. So
Yes.
now with this, we can make four different pie charts that, okay, this and, but this would come out handy if we put how much business they brought in.
Right.
So this one, that will give that will change the whole scenario of the charting when we put the number of business, I mean, total dollar amount of business they brought in, number of hours they put in. So that
Right.
will give a totally different scenario. But this
Oh,
was just learning.
Lina ma'am, did you use pivot charts for this?
Yes, I did. Hold on. It should be somewhere. 1 second. I did use a pivot chart. This is bar chart.
Yeah, I mean,
Ah,
there's
here
like,
it is. This is
yeah,
the pivot
this
chart.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you created it using the pivot charts.
Yeah.
So, is it
There bar chart, ma'am.
No, because hold on.
Mhm.
No, wait. There
No,
was
this what type of chart is like Pareto tree? I didn't.
no. I used this pivot chart because there were different
Okay.
filters. So I picked the value and all. I dragged the image and put it. That's how I remember I did it.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I did?
Oh,
Even
I got
sorry.
I got confused with pivot charts and pivot tables. Pardon me
No,
for
because
that.
that's one.
So
Yeah,
pivot chart
specific
is
chart.
basically
Yeah.
yeah, is
I
basically
wanted
a
to
combination of charting.
both,
Yeah,
yes,
this is really good.
exactly. And then,
Right.
I also wanted to share this with all my fellow students, because what I did is Ravi sir had sent one very nice video. It lasted for almost 45 minutes. What I did is I never used Excel. I've never used Excel in my life. My accountant used it and I only know how to read it. So, but what I did is I sat with two laptops. So he started with beginners, like how you create, how do you put data, what is row, what is column, what is ribbon. And then I was simultaneously doing it. He was making the chart, I was doing it on my other computer, and I could finish the whole thing just like in 45 minutes. And it's such a beautiful video, Raviji, you have sent. So I
Yeah.
sat with two laptops and I learned Excel in 45 minutes. Because, I did
Wow.
step by step. Whatever he was doing on that other video, I was doing it on my laptop along with him. So, and then it is a very nice video. If you don't know Excel, that will help you. I did never knew Excel. I know Word, but I never used Excel.
I know Excel, but I don't know pivot charts. I think I missed that class because my kid was
No,
crying.
no, we
No,
haven't done it
we didn't
completely.
teach
We
us.
just had an
No.
introduction. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ravi sir, can you please just share the link for pivot charts?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
I'll do that, and we'll have a revision of pivot as well. Please
yeah,
don't worry.
because my kid was like crying like anything, so I have to leave that class
I
and
can
go there.
understand. I can understand, ma'am. Please don't worry.
But
And you
pivot
can,
chart is the backbone of everything. I think once we know pivot
So
tables and
pivot chart.
chart,
So I mean, in this graph, in this chart, I think this is same as the bar graph, right? Why do we
right,
need to use
multiple
pivot chart?
columns.
it has
Multiple
multiple
columns.
columns.
Right. So it's not that we can go right away. Means frankly speaking, sorry. Let Lina ma'am finish, and then I can take
No,
it up
I'm
from
done.
there.
I'm done. I just wanted
Okay.
to show with more options, not
Yeah.
just
If anybody
pivot.
have any questions, okay, great. Let me open an Excel. I believe I have an Excel which I normally do practice on. Let me open that thing and then share with you. No, not that one. Come on. Okay, okay. Okay. Let me share this thing. Uh, oh my. Share screen. Where's it? Yes. Could you see my Excel?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, there's a pie. It explain a pie chart. Now let's try to add another column to this, right? So I'll say, oh man, I'll take this thing here. Come on. Oh, sorry, I need to click on enable editing. Sorry for that. I can move here. Come on. Okay, I'll just delete this thing. Sorry. And I'll another columns. Let's say dogs are 60, cats are 55. Birds are 120. Oh my, 120. Lizards are let's say 45. Hamsters are 15, rabbits are 6. Okay, okay. How much? I don't know. Okay. So I'm just trying to have numbers here. Okay. Now I have these favorite animal survey results. Oh man, why can't I move this? Okay. Now I want to understand the favorite animal surveys with the number of animals I have within my vicinity, within my society, within my area, or within my county, however we want to put it. So if I want to have these two things, I'll just select these three columns all together. I'll go to insert, and normally I'll insert pivot chart, right? And table range is basically select table range. So I have something like from A1 to C7. So it should be C7 rather than 8. I'll just say 7. Okay, and then existing worksheet, and I'll plot the location to here. Okay, and I'll say okay. What is this? I think I did something wrong. Let me try to do it again. Let me try again. So I'll just select these numbers. I'll go to insert, pivot chart. Okay. Existing worksheet. I'll say this thing. I'll go here and say okay. Pivot table cannot overlap. Okay.
So because you already have this
Yeah,
one.
it's overlapping. I
So
believe.
pivot table 1. Yeah.
Yes. Try to do this. Say okay. In the same thing. I'm doing something wrong, I believe, and I can't. Okay. This
Sir,
thing.
what are pivot tables? They are like
People tables is basically where you get your data from.
no.
So
So
this
I already have data in tabular format, my own table. So pivot
okay.
tables.
Uh-huh.
So what? I mean, how pivot tables are different from these tables? They are like
So
same.
it's a combination, right? It's combination of two bar charts. So you can have these two bar charts trying to play hand in hand, something like that. So there what I'm trying to do, oh sorry, what I'm trying to do here is trying to present couple of data elements all together, right? So here, wait a minute, here I'm trying to basically have two bar charts working together hand in hand, so that I can explain in two different scenario, two different data elements all together.
Okay.
So that's how it works. Let me, I believe, let's try with this guy.
Need a professional website?
Sorry.
I
Wait a
created
minute.
one for our startup using Wix.
Okay, let me try to bring in a video, and then we can learn together. Frankly speaking, I'll say stop share. Sorry, start share screen. Okay, and where's that? This is right.
This works in Microsoft Excel 2003, 2007, and I'm using Microsoft Excel 2010. Today I'm going to tell you about a few different functionalities of the pivot tool. This video is designed for someone that's either a beginner or not very familiar with the pivot tool. You might be very familiar with Excel, but the pivot tool is particularly useful and somewhat challenging to work with if you haven't used it before. So I'm going to walk you through that today. So you can see that I've got 5 different columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got your company, your month of sale, the customer, item number, and then the number of items sold. And so, this is a standard data set. I've got about, I don't know, 500 lines or so broken up into different companies and months and customers. So any corporation or business would have something like this to track, or would hopefully have something like this to track, how many items am I selling to which customers, which item am I selling, etc. This is a very simplified version, but I think you'll get the concept. So here in 2010, and it's also in 2007, you've got your ribbon bar here. And under Insert, you see Pivot Table here on the left. So when you've got a real nice set of data like this, where it's just 5 columns, a bunch of rows, Excel makes it easy. And when you click the Pivot Table button, it automatically highlights everything here. If you didn't have a real nice set of data, say for example you had 3 different sets of data on the same worksheet, this would be blank, and so you'd have to select the data that you want to go with manually. So it asks, choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed, and your options are either a new worksheet, which would be another tab down here, or an existing worksheet. So today we're going to use a new worksheet. And so now it creates a new sheet, and it gives you this little pivot table window. You'll see that if you click off it, that piece on the right disappears. So when you click on it, it appears. You're actually able to, if you want, you can pull this out and move it close, but for now we'll just leave it on the right hand side. So you see we've got all the different fields that we had in the original spreadsheet are listed here in the pivot table field list. So we've got company, month of sale, customer, item, and number sold. And then down below we've got report filter, column labels, row labels, and values, and I'll go through each one of these individually here in a moment. So a pivot table's use is essentially to take a large set of data and simplify it so that you can very quickly and easily modify it and do different things. Imagine how difficult it would be for, let's say I asked you to take this data and say, how many items from January that Marlon Brando bought that were this item number from this company, how many items was there? Is it possible? Of course it's possible. It's, you'd have to filter and do different things, and it's a very manual process. Whereas with a pivot table, it's a relatively automated process. So like I said, you've got your 4 boxes down here, and the model here is you can drag things from up here to the boxes down here. So I'll show you here. So we've got row labels. This is where we're going to start, and where I would suggest you start. It's kind of the beginning of the logical piece of the pivot table. So we'll drag company into row labels and let go. So you'll see that on the left here, it's given us, instead of having 450 lines with repeating ABCs and repeating LEDs and XYZs, it's given us just 5 lines, one for each company. So this is kind of, you're starting to see the power of the pivot table. If I had 1,000 different companies or 100 different companies, I'd see 100 different rows here. And so that'll be our rows for now. The next box to the right of that is called values. And for values, really the only field that makes sense is number sold. So we want to say, how many did we sell to this company in a certain month is really the question. So we'll drag the number sold down here. You'll see that it should populate, and it did, sum of numbers sold. So to XYZ Federal, we sold 17,000. To Hewlett Packard, we sold a few. Already you're seeing kind of how we can manipulate the data very, very easily just by dragging things around here on the right. Excel does a really nice job of helping the user do things like this. You just need to know what to look for, is what I've found. So the next piece, and really where pivot tables truly shine and truly are valuable, is this piece called report filter. So for example, if we put month of sale in report filter, now you see this filter comes up at the top. And so we can say, this is great that we know how many sold in the year, but how about how many sold in December? Wow. So we're able to see in December, we sold to 3 companies and this many to each. Now, you can even dive deeper than that. The 4th box here is called column labels. And so if we drag customer over column labels, now we can see which customer bought how many items from which supplier or which vendor. And then it gives us a grand total, and we can, change all of our filters and do things like that. But wow, what a powerful tool this is. You can see that a pivot table, I mean, putting something like this together, this could take month, or this could take an hour, to put all this together and say, okay, Kirk Douglas bought a certain amount in what month from what company, and then put all this together and manually go through. I mean, there are only 450 lines here. Imagine if your database had 450,000 lines. Pivot tables are a very powerful tool. This is just kind of a very scratching the surface introductory look at it, and I'll be posting some more advanced videos shortly.
We are fascinating. We
Sir,
launch
there
rockets
is
to
a black
Mars,
screen
but we
coming.
also do this.
Yes, give me a minute.
Yoga
Uh,
is made
Let
for
me
all,
download and share this
helping you
video
to
quickly.
create.
This will take a while, I believe. I'll just mute it and I'll let it go. See, these are like, again, as I told you, it's a summary, way of presenting this thing, right? What is this? Up next? Why it's going up next? Okay, no problem. Let me download this thing and, I'll share with you again, basically. So, this we will learn, eventually. So that's what I'll have today. Yes, I have shared this thing with you, right? There are, different sites where we basically trying to learn Excel in depth. But yes, please don't, what you can say, immerse yourself with the Excel. It's just one of the tool. It's important, and it basically, could you see my presentation, or it's still on there?
No, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry. Let me share that screen. Okay, yes. So these are the different tools, which we need to learn. Which are a kind of good, reference thing. And let me go through the exact video which we'll need basically to, have those pivot table with multiple, bar charts coming our way. Let me, go through that, because this is what I had previously, but I believe there could be, new good video, and let me share that with you. I'll share this video also with you, so that, you can go through that as well. So pivot table is kind of next step, to these things. So I have a normal video which I show, and I think I've shown it to you. Let me, try to pull that thing up, so that we'll try to understand pivot chart. Chart is basically kind of basics where we try to summarize data, where we try to create data from whatever summary I have, right? So I had those 2 videos. I posted in my last thing also. So where is that? Let me, yeah, this Excel campus thing. Let me, try to share that with you. This is basically in a video which I normally share, so that
to Excel Campus. Want to create some reports and ultimately a dashboard for an upcoming presentation. All Andy was given is this giant sheet of data and a list of reports that his boss needs. Although he's excited about the challenge, Andy is wondering how he's going to turn this data into a nice looking dashboard. Of course, he wants to save the day and become the superhero of the office. So what Andy really needs is to learn how to use pivot tables. In this video series, I'm going to show you how we're going to solve Andy's problem. We're going to take this sheet of data and turn it into a nice looking interactive dashboard using pivot tables and pivot charts. We are going to build each of these reports using pivot tables and then bring it all together to create the dashboard.
This guy explains one by one, so it's more informative rather than, and it starts with that whole bunch of data, right? You have all rows and columns, big, and then it goes step by step. Have you gone through this video? I believe I shared, or I'll share again. Don't worry. This is a really great video to understand building pivot table. But let's go step by step rather than hurrying ourselves. because charting is it's a kind of tool which we use. So we need to learn all other tools also. So we need to understand that fishbone diagram and those things also. So we'll try to get a know of those tools in a quick sessions, so that we don't spend too much time. But Excel, yes, charting is a necessary thing. Pivot tables, if or we can learn on job also. So that time we'll go in depth of each and every table. So rather than what I normally suggest, as per a schedule, let's not take a workshop on these things. But if you want to try yourself, do try and do share with the group. And we can have a presentation also of a pivot table if you want. But yes, now this is a kind of geeky things. We are going towards a geeky use of one tool. If your organization uses Excel, then yes, it will be really beneficial, or it will be kind of good learning overall. Good learning for me as in myself. I can have my expenses track. I can have my expenses trend analysis done. I can have all my whatever number I have, even phone book, right? So if I want to have my friends in, let's say, Midwest region or St. Louis region, I can do an pivot charts or pivot table on that, so that I can just do a couple of clicks and I can get to basically find those numbers in the specific region with the specific conditions and all as well. So if I have that data, I can crunch it. I can summarize it in the best possible scenario. That's the most most useful thing about pivot tables, and that's how we will learn. But yes, this is a bit of advanced Excel. So and it's a bit of trying to understand or trying to do some maths with this as well. So it's not as easy as charting. Okay, so just have a look at this thing.
And don't worry if you think this looks complicated. Pivot tables are very easy to use and don't require any complex formulas or VBA macros. Just simple drag and drop. Throughout this video series, I'm also going to be showing you an add-in I developed called PivotPal. PivotPal makes it easier to work with some aspects of pivot tables and will save you a lot of time. But you don't need to have PivotPal to create these pivot tables and dashboards. Everything you need is already built into Excel. Alright, so in this first video, we're going to cover the basics of building a pivot table. I'm going to show you how to create this pivot table here that's a summary of revenue by sales rep, and also this pivot chart over here, which just displays that information visually. So we know that Andy has this set of data.
Come again, please.
We were not able to see, but now it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Summary of revenue by sales rep, and also this pivot chart over here, which just displays that information visually. So we know that Andy has this set of data to work with. This is really all he's been given. And this is what we're going to use to create our pivot tables. This will be considered our source data. And before you start building a pivot table, it's a good idea to familiarize yourself with the source data, especially if you haven't seen it before. So this data was exported from our general ledger software, and basically it contains order details for December. So each row in the data here contains information for a specific order. So you can see we have the order date, some customer information here, the salesperson, region, we got some shipping information as I scroll over, and we also have some product information and then some information about the price of the product, the revenue, quantity, all that stuff. So it's good information. The other thing you want to do is make sure that your data is in a tabular format. And that just means that you have a row of headers here at the top of the data set. And each of these headers describes the column of data below. And I provided a checklist so you can go over this in more detail. The other things you want to look out for is that you want to make sure there's no blank columns within your header row here and no blank rows within your data set, especially if you have a column of dates. You want to make sure there's no blank rows or cells in your date column. You also want to look out for any merged cells. A lot of times when you're exporting data, the software will automatically merge some cells together, and you want to make sure you unmerge all the cells. So once your data is cleaned up, and this data looks pretty good, we go to the Insert tab on the ribbon, and then click the Pivot Table button. And that'll bring up this Create Pivot Table window. And basically it's asking us to select the table or range. Now you can see that Excel has automatically detected the range for me, and that's because I had a cell selected inside the pivot table, or I'm sorry, inside the data set before I clicked the Create Pivot Table button. So as long as you do that, select a cell inside the range, click this button, and Excel will automatically detect the range for you. If it doesn't, you can just click this blue button over here and go and select your range. The next step is that we want to choose where we're going to put the pivot table. In this case, we'll put it on a new worksheet. So I'll go ahead and click OK. And now you'll see that's automatically added a new sheet to our workbook here and created this pivot table area. You'll also notice over on the right side that this pivot table fields list has appeared. And this is basically the window we're going to use to create the pivot table. So here's a list of all the fields in our data set here. And then down below is the areas that we can drag those fields into to create a pivot table report. So the first thing I'm going to do is find that salesperson field, and here it is here. And I'm going to drag that into the rows area. So I'm left click and hold, drag it into the rows area of the pivot table and drop it there. And you'll notice now that in the pivot table, it's listed our sales reps in the rows area of the pivot table. So each row contains a sales rep name. Now I want to add the revenue to this report as well, so I can get a summary of revenue. So I'm going to find this revenue field here in the field list and then drag it into the values area of the pivot table. When I drag it into the values area and drop it there, you'll notice that Excel has automatically calculated the sum of revenue for each rep that's listed in the rows area of the pivot table. So this is really the power and the magic of the pivot table. It is automatically calculated the sum of revenue for each rep just almost instantly as we drag the field into the values area. And it's a good idea to get an understanding of what actually happens there. So let me try and explain this a little better.
Could you understand how simple it is?
Yes.
Yeah, could you do it? Do you want to do it on your own? Go ahead, please. Any question for me at this moment?
No, sir. Yes, we can understand. Yeah.
You can, right? And I'll share this video with you. Please don't worry. Just have a look at it. A few more minutes.
So here we can see Andrew has sales of 12,368 here in the pivot table. And basically what the pivot table has done, so if I go back to the data tab, I'm going to filter the salesperson field here for Andrew. So we're just seeing the sales that Andrew's done. And you can see here that he's done 8 sales in the month of December. Now if I go over to the rows column, and I'm just going to select these revenue numbers here, you can see here's our sum of revenue, 12,368 for Andrew. So basically the pivot table has done this filter and calculation for us. It's basically filtered the data set for each rep, each unique item in that field, and then calculated the sum of revenue for each rep. So it's a very powerful tool because with just a few clicks, you could see that we've automatically created this nice summary report from our data set. And I also have a pivot table diagram here that just kind of shows you where each of these areas are within a standard pivot table. So you can see this is kind of a standard looking report. We have our sales rep here on the left side. We have quarters across the top, and then the sum of revenue here in the middle section. And up here we have the year, a filter for the year. So these are basically the different areas that you could drag fields into in the pivot table. And each of them displays information a little differently. So throughout this video series, I'll explain how each of these areas within the pivot table works. Okay, so let's continue building out our pivot table. So probably the first thing you notice is that these numbers are not formatted. When we drug the revenue field into the values area, it did not format those numbers. So we want to format those. And the easiest way to do that is if you just right click on any cell in the values area there and then go to value field settings. That'll bring up this value field settings for the revenue field, sum of revenue. And we're going to click on the number format button. That'll bring up the format cells dialog. This one you're probably familiar with. I'm just going to choose currency, no decimals, click OK, and then click OK here. And you can see now that our numbers are formatted and they look a little nicer. The next thing I'm going to do is sort this information. So I want to put the top performing rep at the top of the list here. So basically, I'm just going to select any cell in the values area and right click and then go to sort and sort largest to smallest. And now that's sorted our list here from largest to smallest. So we can see our top performing rep which is Nancy, at the top of the list, and then our bottom performing rep, which is Jan, down at the bottom. So this now gives us some really good information. We can kind of see who's doing well and maybe who struggled this month or for some reason didn't do as well. And I'm more of a visual person, so I want to see this information in a chart as well. So as long as I have any cell selected in the pivot table, you can go up to the Analyze tab or the Options tab and click Pivot Chart. And that'll bring up this chart window, and I'm going to insert a bar chart and click OK. So now we've automatically created a bar chart here that it just allows us to visualize this information. And I'm going to quickly show you how we can clean this up, because the default chart formatting out of the box it's kind of ugly, honestly. So we're going to clean this up a bit. So the first thing I typically do is just hide all these field buttons. These field buttons allow you to apply filters, but we don't really need that for our dashboard. So I'm going to hide those. You'll also notice that these names here are in the opposite order of what they are here on the pivot table. So we need to reverse the order of this. So I'm going to right click here, go to Format Access. That'll bring up this Format Access window. It looks a little different in Excel 2010, but the options are the same. We go to Access Options, and then I'm going to check this box, Categories in Reverse Order. And that's going to reverse the order of these categories here so they match what's on the page. I'm going to close that. The other thing I want to do is, well, I'm going to get rid of these labels here, so I'm just going to left click to select those and hit the delete key on the keyboard. I'm also going to get rid of the legend, so click that and delete on the keyboard, and I want to get rid of these vertical lines, so I'm going to left click on those, delete, and then I also want to add some labels here. So in Excel 2013 you can just click on this plus button, go to data labels, that'll add our data labels there. I want to make my plot area a little smaller so the data label doesn't overlap the bar. And now I also want to make these bars wider. So to do that, I'm going to again right click on the bar, right click, go to Format Data Series. That'll bring up the Format Data Series window, and we're in the series options, we're looking for a gap width. And if I just make that smaller, that'll make the gap between the bars smaller and make the bars bigger. So now we can see that we have some bigger looking bars, and this is starting to look pretty nice. Of course, we want to add a title here, so we're going to go sales by rep for December 2014, something like that. So now with just a few clicks, we have this great looking chart that allows us to visually see our report here, our sales by rep for the month of December. So hopefully you've kind of seen the power of the pivot table here, and it's not really that scary of an item. It's actually very easy to use and extremely powerful, and allows you to quickly summarize and visualize your information. All right, so I want to quickly show you how you can use PivotPal to create this same pivot table report, and how it makes it a little faster to do so. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clear out this report so we can start fresh. And to delete
is a kind of additions, and this is a kind of third-party components, right? So let's not go there, because every third-party components have its copyright, and distribution challenges, So if you're working in an organizations, they normally don't prefer to have these things added to your, whatever supplied laptops or supplied instruments. So let's not go there. I believe this given a good idea how to summarize the complete Excel sheet, right? Now we've seen step one, trying to plot these chart, bar chart, pie chart, 3D bar charts singularly. Now whenever you want to present a bigger data, we are talking about a big database with various rows and columns. What we do, we first try to have a summarized view. Now this sheet called data is a summarized view, right? So this summarized view is basically gives you a crisp idea of, let's say, like the screen showing us, right? These are the sales representative, and how much sales they've made or how much revenue they've incurred for a given company, right? And we have pulled out this data from just click. Within 10 minutes, we have created this summary. Now this summary, I can present it in a pie chart, bar chart, which is a kind of relative data with the inferences, because I have selected or I filtered the data before presenting. So this is a kind of another steps which gets added, right? Yes, it's not easy as plotting chart, simple chart. So we normally start with simpler chart. We normally start with building these, then we go to summarize view, and then start building these really intelligent looking Excel sheet or collection of data or filter data. That's what we call it. And yes, these words are important. These representative words have in-depth meaning in IT or Excel users for that matter. I've
Sir,
already shared. Go ahead, please.
sir, here the major challenge would be, what section I should put in the rows and the
Exactly.
values. Yeah,
So
that.
unless you know the
Yeah.
you couldn't
Yeah,
do it.
unless I
So
know what I have to represent, it
yes,
would.
yes. Let me give you an example here. Okay, why don't let's try to do something. Let's try to build for 15 or 16 year phone book entries. Try to create an Excel sheet. First name can first column can be serial number. A is serial number. Column B is first name. C second name. D is the region where they live. E is the phone number. It can be how close, very close, he's a friend, he's a colleague, and those kind of type of engagement. Let's try to do these things, right? And let's try to you can use fake data, and then you try to select, because those what are the column means, right? Try to have some 15 16 rows so of these data. Do it by yourself, and then we can work on this pivot table, because unless you know the data by heart, you really couldn't think which is more important to me. Here he've taken the sales example. So unless you worked as a sales representative, or unless you worked as an business head, you might not relate these figures to how crucial they are for these guys. So we are trying to understand how my organization doing in sales representative wise. Who is earning the top revenue here? Nancy. Nancy is my top sales representative. I think this was for a year, right? No, this was for some month, so certain months he was talking about. Okay, this was for December he was talking about. So 9C is my super performance. So if I want to award the best sales representative, I will award it to Nancy, because she had bought the most sales to me. So if you know what we are doing, you really can't relate yourself to these data. So these are, again, data is a kind of personal thing, right? Or a domain based things. So if you are working with 10 15 employees, so, and the data is related to you, or you are part of the data, then you understand it in depth, the relevance of it. So to understand this relevance, we need to try to create a data set by ourselves. So what I give you as a sample, try to create a data with phone book records. So this phone book record can have serial numbers in the column A, first name in column B, C we have last name in column C, D we have phone number, E we can have what type of relationship engagement I have. So there could be wife, husband, friend, best friend, bestie, langotia, whatever you want to do. Do something like this so that you can relate your data, and then we can work on this pivot table. Does that make sense?
No, Raviji, because we cannot, like when we're putting 100 people in the phone book, I cannot put my engagement or my relationship with them. So, we can do some like project like, I can't think on top of my head, but like you're right, 10, 15, like serial number, first name, last name, region, phone number, or zip code.
Yes.
Or
Yeah, zip code can be good. Yeah. Rather than engagement, let's have zip code. So we can, find the nearest one. Yes. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Or maybe ethnicity or something, but
yeah, see, I'm just throwing whatever come to my mind as an relevance example, because we need to have that relevance, right? These data represent some relevance to the actual facts, and that's what I want to basically present it that way. Okay, let me give you a what you can say time to think, or let me give you a free hand. Okay, what we need to have a 15 16 row database with various columns. Let's have 6 to 7 columns, so that we can build this relevance and we can understand how pivot tables normally gets plotted. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Choose whatever you want to present. You have a free hand, and let's try to discuss in our next session, so that we can learn in depth what each and every column means to each and everybody. Because as an analyst, I'm an individual person. I need to understand how, these relevance work for me rather than how it works for Ravindra. I can understand this sales report because, I own an organization. I do, pull out these sales reports each and every month. I don't have sales representative, but we work as a partner. We are, corporate trainers. So what we do, we try to understand the revenue pie, revenue share within our trading fraternity. Okay, so then we'll distribute these revenue even wise. We have that tax returns and blah 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 things to be reported to. So these things I have done on Excel, and I'm using Excel. Believe me, I have a couple of subscription from good cloud-based HR companies and all, but I like Excel because I'm working on Excel since I think 1991. I used to work on Lotus Sheets. Then I moved to there was a product from IBM, Word Perfect, if I'm not wrong on that label. And then we have Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel, I think, started coming in late 95, 96. 1995, 1996, where they've really started working, on Excel. They purchased the Lotus Sheet company, I believe, and then they started porting this thing. Previously, it was, DOS based. Then they moved to something like Windows. After Windows 95, which came in, 99 or 98, they started working on this graphical Excel. So we have all these, buttons. And yeah, of course, the way this guy explains, there's a ribbon, menu bar. These also important things to learn, because I believe quite a few of us, they were never, use these lingos, right? This lingo does make a difference whenever you try to explain, to anybody. So, that's also important thing to learn by ourselves. Okay. And in last batch, I have not gone in depth for pivot tables, because again, what I thought, whenever we go on job, we'll learn in depth. But no issues. We can spend some more time or another class or two, and then we can plan our Sunday batches as well, Sunday classes, if you are lagging too much in our progress. So please don't worry on that thing. And again, just I want to stress one thing. As Devji and we had a discussion on that resume building session. So I would like you, even from a batch 2, to be present in a this resume building or reference ready resume sessions, which are normally on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There are 3 sessions, so at least be in one and start working on your profile, because it takes time. Because there are things we need to learn, we need to understand about personality, we need to understand what type of skill sets do you have, how to present those skill set. And there are domains you worked on, there are domains you like to go on, and so on and so forth. So there are n number of parameters here, which is taking a bit larger time. So what I really want you to do, spend some time. There are around 3 slots on these days. Try to present in one, so that Devji can guide you on that. I believe everybody must have a profile, basic collection of records, whatever you did till date, and then we can take it up from there. Because Guru School also have a way to present things. We have a disciplined way, because recruitment team has to market the profile and all, so it also takes a time. So we need to guide the whole process. So if you start early, we can present it well. We can add those floras and fauna in much suitable way, rather than doing a hazardous job. And that's how Devji have requested all of us to start participating in this thing, and getting leverage from whatever is available to us, right? Are you with me? Could you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir. Sir, just one question. Do we have any sessions on the weekend, Saturdays and Sundays?
Yes, ma'am, we do have. And please check your group at least once a day, the BAQA group, so that if any session planned, Devji normally post by himself. So you can join those sessions also. Mostly, I believe we have some weekend session also. I couldn't recall the exact time. But yes, if there, I'll repost these things, or I'll request Devji to post these things within couple of hours, so you can present in that session.
Okay, and that is for resume building. We don't have any regular class on Saturday, Sunday, right?
No, right now I have not planned, but like I think I'm behind schedule by around 2 classes, so we might start on next Saturday, Sunday, at least Sundays. That's what or Saturday. Let me work on that rather than committing right now. I was planning for that user stories thing, but user story, I had a discussion with Richa ma'am, and she say I normally take, and she is on to have a workshop on user story. I told you about user story, right? Each and every requirement. Right. Sorry. Go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. You said that you'll have class on Sunday for user stories.
Yes, yes. So, no, there are, other plans of class on Sunday. So let's not have class on Sunday for user story. We'll have a class, planned by Richaji somewhere in the next week, and I'll let you know. So there's no class on Sunday as such. Okay, and let me worry about the schedule. I'm just sharing whatever I've learned from my even I have schedule in my Excel. So I normally have a trend. So what are the topics to be discussed and how much? I believe we spend kind of, normally I took 1 or 2 sessions, but this is kind of third session on Excel, and there'll be another fourth, at least half of it, right? So yes, I need to mitigate this risk of spilling the schedule. So I'm trying to get adjusted to those weekend things. So let's take this thing throughout the next week, and then we'll decide on that.
I just have one question, Raviji.
Please.
When you work as a BA, right, this source data is provided to you, right? So all we have to stress more is on making different chart and understanding it through the chart, right?
Right. Ma'am, what I'll suggest now, let's get our learnings here.
No, I'm fine. I don't mind doing it, but just as a knowledge, you get the source data as your requirement through the client, right? The stakeholders, they do give you this data, and now you have to analyze it. So I mean, it's okay. It's good to learn it, and I'm not denying it, but I'm just understanding the process, right? You get the source data, and then you work on different charts, right? And the real life.
Exactly. Yes. That's a normal scenario.
Okay.
And sir, what
Because,
I think,
Go ahead, please.
think is, these things are, these things are good to have kind of thing. But
Exactly.
for interview and all, I think, what all things are benefiting us for interviews, I think we should stress more on that.
Exactly.
Like we said, we have already spent 3 classes on this, and then there'll be another 1 more class. So
No, see, ma'am, it depends on my personality also, what I would like and like to present, because as an analyst, right, I understand vision and I present this vision. So if I like Excel, if I'm really good at Excel, then yeah, I can excel in Excel, to use that word. So that's how I want to put it. So there's nothing wrong here. Only yes, I've just shared my concern overall, and please don't, what I can say, please don't get baffled by this thing. I can control this thing, and we are, very much within our boundaries. Please don't worry. So if we spend another class, it doesn't matter at all, frankly speaking. In the long run, we'll manage everything. Please don't worry. Second thing, what you said, this is not a need as of now, right? You're dot on, point, because this is a kind of, we going in depth. But yes, if you look at the overall, our, day-to-day Excel learning, if you learn this thing, it'll help you out in a great manner, believe me, because I have been using these things, and this really helps day in day out. It gives you a really great view, really concise, decision making power and all those things. So yes, the time is not getting wasted. Only thing is that we are going much deeper, but that's okay. Sometimes it happens because of the liking, because of the overall understanding. So please don't worry on that. Okay. So I'll share. I have shared the video already, but yes, have a play around it. Try to understand the lingos also. That's what.
5 minutes.
Okay, so try to understand these lingos as well, and then we'll take it up ahead, right?
Okay.
Does that answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. Now I'll request again, please be there on the resume building session, and then we can basically start early, and we can also utilize your overall experience or trying to understand how to present ourselves as an BA in a best possible way, because that's what the overall resume building or the resume reference ready resume building session is all about. How to present ourselves for the client, for the job. And the better we can market ourselves, the better salary, better remuneration we can expect. And that's why Devji want everybody to work with Devji proactively. He's spending his time personally. He have almost 3 sessions a day on Tuesday and Thursdays. Also, he's planning some weekend sessions. If I come across such thing, I'll post it in a group, and then we can learn in depth there. So please be there. Okay, let's wind up here. I think we are almost 11 o'clock, right? Let me check out the clock. Yes, we are almost at 11 o'clock. Okay, so if you have any question, please feel free to ask on the group, and I'll be happy to answer it. Anybody have any question for me right now?
No, we are good.
Okay, great, no problem. Okay, then let's close the session here. You have a great night. Enjoy.
Thank
Have
you.
a happy weekend.
Thank you, sir.
And there's no
You too,
class on
sir.
Sunday. Yes,
Thank you.
sure. But
Thank you, sir.
be there on that resume building session, please.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you,
so
sir.
much.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Good
Bye.
Thank you.